Why is everything glitching?
Oh no! Classical jazz music!
Check out Mr. Hyde! Where am I?
Whoa!
Congratulations on obtaining the limited edition Super Famicom port of the amazing action platformer Time Slip. This special port was distributed by Vic themselves for one lucky gamer. Inside this box you will also find a controller and a special reward. You will never guess what it does. From your #1 fan.
What the hell is this?
It is a known fact that time is scarce. Therefore, we have to take advantage of every single second in a day. But what if I told you it could be manipulated to your liking? I mean, sure, time travel is still wishful thinking, but not in this game, folks. Time Slip was released in 1993 for both the North American and European market for the Super Nintendo, or in my case, the Super Famicom. The game was developed by Sales Curve Interactive, which has now become a subsidiary of Square Enix, and it was published by Vic, the Japanese video game publisher. In regards to the story,
No boy, we have a long story here, folks. So, I will do my best to summarize it for you.
a space-time rift is discovered by the Terramations, who are aliens from the planet Termat. The premise is very similar to various crossover games, such as the Marvel vs. Capcom series, MK vs. DC, and games with invasion-centered plots. Meanwhile on Earth, the same rift is later discovered by astronomers. As they begin studying the foreign planet, they notice a significant increase in the geometric rate. At the same time, while this is happening, a probe is released by the Terramations to search for a planet similar to Termat to conquer. The probe soon selects Earth as its destination, which prompted the aliens to invade it. They are doing this in order to transform Earth into their second home. Little did they know, however, us humans would possess extraordinary set of skills.
A very particular set of skills.
So instead of retreating, the aliens changed their strategy by developing time-traveling technology to send their army back to different historical periods. By doing so, they would be able to interfere with the development of modern weaponry, which would render the human forces as powerless in the present. In spite of that, this plan also backfired because they underestimated the human intellect. They were able to track the Terramations and counter their plan. The humans did this by informing a group of scientists led by Dr. Vincent Gilgamesh to unveil a new prototype time machine of their own. Sadly though, the aliens kill all of the scientists, leaving only Vincent to fight them off by traveling back in time to prevent the aliens' conquest. What's funny about the game is once the intro loads, the game just starts just like that. So after we're done with the story, we are directed to the title screen. And oh boy, the title screen looks like the manliest thing you could ever see. You have the cool, badass looking soldier wearing an all green outfit and all that. He kinda looks very similar to Doom Guy. But yeah, it's like the game is telling you, it's all business, no joking around. Anyways, moving on. Now, in regards to the gameplay, dare I say, it's very straightforward, as like Contra, you run as you shoot enemies. To break down the gameplay, we're going to cover the power-ups, the life bar, the controls, the stages, and last but not least, let's not forget the music as well. Let's start off with the beginning, shall we? First things first, the controls. What's to say about the controls in this game? You use the D-pad to move, to aim, climb, and duck, while B jumps. Since jumping is basically the standard in every platformer, you'll be jumping and jumping and jumping a lot. And what sucks is that there's no double jumping in this game, or even a roll in the air like Contra. You could say it's pretty useless if you were to rely on it that much. And A is shooting without movement. This could be a great idea because you can stay in the same area and change directions where you're firing using the D-pad. And Y fires with movement. And it's a great addition because you get to attack and dodge at the same time. X fires the special weapon. These special weapons and items which can be collected are plenty. They can be found in small boxes that you have to destroy to get them. The only exception are the diamonds. This is different than Contra, I believe, as unlike Time Slip, the power-ups just show up as you kill enemies, and sometimes they pop up on their own. And the weapons are the following: the machine gun power-up, battery, which serves as the life item for this game, red rockets, which gives you a BZ ammunition, purple rockets, which gives you a BB ammunition, green grenades, which gives you a GA ammunition, gray discs, which gives you a TB ammunition, and last but not least, you've got the orange triangle, which allows you to be invincible for a selective amount of time. Other elements which makes Time Slip different from Contra is the addition of an energy bar. This energy meter functions as the player's life bar. As you progress further through the game, you realize that Time Slip has just some things that makes it very different from any other Contra game. And this could range from many things, such as Can you give me a second?
was I? Oh yeah.
Unlike the Contour series, there are unfortunately no continues. Once you die, it's game over, my man. You have to start off from the very beginning. No continues, no checkpoints, nothing.
And this sucks balls big time. Imagine paying $40 for a game that has no checkpoints or continues. What the hell were they thinking, man? Whatever, let's just continue.
What makes this equally as terrible is the fact a password system was not even included. No type of Konami code either.
Because cheating is for wussies. Stupid game.
It is such a shame and would understandably make anyone feel a sense of disappointment. On the bright side, however, you can earn extra lives by scoring certain number of points, which I think is very crucial for this game, as the difficulty is just unholy.
Come on. Yeah, I'm almost there. Yeah.
The stages represent different time periods, which can be broken down in 4: Medieval Age, Cretaceous, which is basically the Dinosaur Age, Ancient Egypt, and finally, Invasion 2147. Each of these levels are initially worlds similar to Super Mario World. So first, let's start off with the Medieval Age. The first stage is the forest, and being the first stage, you might think that the enemies are weak, but boy would you be so wrong. Due to the rapid increase of spawning enemies in this game, you could barely finish one level. So, to understand how I'm gonna beat every stage, or at least try to beat every stage, I'm going to read through some walkthroughs, because without them, you're gonna get lost. Being that the game can be formulaic at times, there's no point in breaking down these stages in depth. So what I'm trying to do here is touch briefly on the stages. That also means I'm not gonna spoil the entire game and ruin your experience. This includes not covering all the bosses. So let's begin with the first stage, shall we? First things first, starting the game, you would have to do your first jump. And like I mentioned before, the jumping sucks in this game because the range is terrible. As you progress further, you would be able to acquire your first item, which is a machine gun power-up. You try your hardest to finish the level, you would encounter your first boss fight. And the first boss is a yellowish aerial alien who can be rather difficult to go against. And the best strategy is to try to stay out of reach as far as possible to avoid being hit. Next up is the cave. You'd encounter more and more enemies who will get tougher over time. And unlike the forest, you encounter 2 bosses already. First, you'd encounter the mages, and they don't do as much, but they could be pretty tricky if you don't time your shooting correctly. The second boss is the dragon. And finally, you've got the castle. If you haven't learned by now, you should just keep shooting and avoiding all the attacks, and you have to carry the level 4 machine gun because it's like the strongest weapon in this game. The boss in the castle is the knight that you face in Castlevania but on steroids. Alright, I'm just messing with you. Anywho, you would have a chance to slow him down by destroying different parts of him. After you're done with the Medieval Age, you would go to Cretaceous. The Cretaceous world consists of swamp and volcano levels. This swamp stage is actually very unique because it introduces the first major mechanic that this game has that other Contra clones don't, which is a flying stage with the hover bike. The boss fight in the swamp is a pterodactyl, and the strategy to beating this boss is just by staying in the upper left corner while shooting diagonally down the right. After you're done with Cretaceous, you would go to Ancient Egypt.
Yeah, boy.
My favorite type of stages in video games. So the first sub-level of this world is the town. After that, you would reach the first boss of Egypt. And very fitting for Ancient Egypt, you would encounter an Egyptian god. And much like other bosses, you just have to be in the right place. After that, you would go to the pyramids. And you would be greeted with your favorite enemy, bats. And the final boss of the stage is actually the Death Star. In order to defeat this boss, you have to hit the small balls first in order to remove his protection, and then just keep hitting the Death Star until it dies. And after that, you will go to Rome. The boss battle in Rome is a Roman god who actually has 3 different transformations. The first form is actually useless. The second form would actually be slightly tough as he also serves as a flying boss. He will fly above you and drop fireballs, so just keep moving away from them as much as possible. The third form actually reveals that the boss that you're facing is a woman. So my guess, this is a mutated Cleopatra? Cleopatra will keep shooting bows, and it's very easy to avoid these as you can just duck, and then you're done. And last but not least is the final stage, which is Invasion 2147. So the first level is another flying stage. So as you progress through the stage, you would encounter your first boss battle. The boss that you're facing is a big ship that looks very similar to the Technodrome and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you can figure this out pretty easily as it's very formulaic. And then after you advance from the boss, you would go to the city. After you're done with the stage, you would encounter the boss. I remember when I told you that you need to collect a lot of stuff? Well, yeah, it matters here big time, because without them, you're screwed. They are very essential in here. And much like other bosses, if you have a level 4 machine gun, you are good to go. Just keep shooting, and then you're done. Oh, wait a minute. Not so fast. You have to go through Termat. And if you're lucky enough, you would progress to the final boss. How do I describe the boss? It's just an abomination. Just take a look at this. And of course, much like the Egyptian god, the final boss actually has different forms. First up, you would fight a generic looking Contra boss. After you're done with this boss, you would fight the final boss himself, which is an insect. And I highly doubt I'm gonna beat this boss, so I'm gonna just act like I beat him. As for the music, I feel like some of the tracks are hit to miss. They have mixed results, but they really fit the atmosphere and the backgrounds.
To conclude, my final grade for this game is a C+. You might think this is one of the worst Contra clones out there, but I have a different opinion.
There are many things that made it stand out from other Contra clones, mainly due to the negative aspects. However, it does not overshadow many of the good things that I enjoyed about this game, especially in regards to blending 2 different mechanics with each other. This was uncommon in platform shooters such as this one. The designs of the bosses and the stages also appeal to me. Another element that I like about this game is the fact you can shoot in various different directions, very similar to Super Castlevania 4 with the whip. In spite of that, the negatives are very clear in this game, mainly a lack of a passport system and not even a Konami code type of deal. And despite not being a cheater myself, I think a code would be very beneficial in this game, especially because the difficulty is very apparent. But even with all of that, I feel like Timeslip deserves to be in that tier, and it's worth playing if you're looking for a challenge.
Well, that wasn't bad after all. Hey, whoa, hey, no. What? What is this place? the hell am I? What? How did that get here? Oh hell no, I'm out of here!
Rookie!
Yes, Commander.
Quick!
What? There's barely anything in there!
Give me the hourglass grenade!
Here you go, sir. Ew, gross! No, please, sir. Don't die on me.
That was one intense battle. Good work, Rookie. You have taken care of the alien mastermind and saved our planet. How would you feel about joining me in rebuilding the lab?
No, thanks, I'm out of here.
What a selfish prick.
Oh, shit. I'm back. What just happened?